This video will demonstrate how to perform a quadratic regression for a given set of data using the Desmos online calculator. So we have this problem. A company collected data for the number of text messages sent and received using a text message application since October 2011. The table shows the number of text messages sent and received in billions over time. The data can be modeled by a quadratic function. So for our independent variable, which is on the x-axis, we have number of months since October 2011, and that's going in increments of 5 all the way to 40. Then for our y-axis, our dependent variable, that is going to be the number of text messages in billions. And so this is 3 billion, 10 billion, all the way down to 112 billion. So the first thing we're going to want to do in Desmos is get this data in a table on our calculator. So we're going to click the plus sign and we're going to add a table. So as you can see, it automatically puts some variables here, and it's called x sub 1, that's in the subscript, and y sub 1, that's also a subscript. So here we're going to go with increments of 5. So we press 5, enter, 10, enter, and then you can see it automatically predicts that we're going in increments of 5. So we just press enter again until we get to 40. So we have 5 to 40 increments of 5. Our y data, which is the number of text messages in billions, will be 3, 10, 17, 27, 44, 64, 86, and 112. Now remember, those are in billions. And we have the same number of x's and y's, so we're good. So after you put in your data, you're going to want to get a nice window to see what that pattern looks like. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to go to the settings over here, which is the wrench, and I'm going to put my grid back on. And for our x-axis, we went from 5 to 40, 5 to 40. So we'll go from -5, so we get a little bit to the left, and we'll go to about 45. I want to capture all of that in there. And we'll go in steps of 5. The label for the x-axis, we can just put number of months. And then for the y-axis, we see our table goes from 3 to 112. So let's also go to -5. And then we'll go all the way to maybe about 120. And we'll go in steps of 10. And then this one will be the number of text messages for the label. And that was in billions. So I'll put billions in parentheses. Okay. So now we can see we have a nice viewing window of that data. So we have this increasing curve. So the quadratic is going to be a nice model for that data. Okay. So now that we have our data in there, we have a nice view of the scatter plot. What we want to do is we want to add a function line. So we're going to choose this expression here. And it put it here, but you can move it around. If you click and drag, you can put it underneath if you like. And we're going to have to recall the variables from our table, and that's x sub 1 and y sub 1. So we're going to type in y1, and it automatically drops it to the subscript for you. I'm going to pull up the keyboard. I'm going to go to ABC, and I'm going to click on the tilde. This little squiggle is called the tilde, and that's what we need for our regression. We'll close that up. And then we're going to put in A, and we have to put x1, and so x and then a 1 next to it because our table, remember, uses x sub 1. Then I want to get a square in here, so I can use my keyboard again and put the square, which is this button here. Close that out. And then we're going to put plus b and another x sub 1, and then plus c. And that will be for our standard equation for the quadratic. So as you can see, the parameters are listed here. So A, that coefficient A will be approximately 0.07. Our coefficient B will be approximately negative 0.148, and C, the constant at the end, is 2.732. Okay, and so the regression equation is in black. You can change the color if you like by clicking and holding on that color, and we'll just make it blue. So it's there, and you can see the color of the data points are in green here. And you can see that is a very nice fit for our data. And we know that because our R squared, which is called the coefficient of determination, is 0.99994, which is very, very close to 1. And anything close to 1 is a really good fit for the data. And that is how you perform a quadratic regression using the Desmos online calculator.